Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 5, Meakashi. So last time we got more, I guess answers again, right? Mion told Shion that she asked her grandma if they did anything to Satoshi, right? And Oreo said that pretty much everything that's been happening was not the Sonozaki family, or they did not do it. I mean, even the kidnapping back then, they were not the ones who did it, right? So, dude, I love this answer arcs, and I can't wait to play the other answer arcs because yeah, we're getting like, even though the scenes can be similar, right? It's still nice because we see the other perspective and then we get answers, right? So let's just continue, and maybe this is gonna be our last episode for this chapter. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how long it is, I mean. Alright, let's continue. Let's just see. So June 1983 now. There has been a series of disappearances in Yonmizawa village, Shishibone City Prefecture. The suspect is Mion Sonozaki. Why don't they just tell us the age? What is wrong? Let's say 14, 15 years old, 16? Allegedly, she abducted, imprisoned, and killed 5 Hinamizawan residents: Oreo Sonozaki, Shion Sonozaki, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi, Rika Furuda, and Satiko Hojo between June the 19th and the 21st. So preliminary investigations on the incidents were delayed at the time due to insufficient evidence, but by chance the case was solved rather abruptly. On the morning of the 22nd, a vehicle patrolling the Sonozaki property heard screams from the inside and rushed in as an emergency measure. So they secured the suspect's missing younger sister, Shion Sonozaki, and her 2 missing classmates, Keiichi Maibara and Rena Ryugu. The suspect fled the scene. Okay, sorry, I clicked it. We found hair pieces of skin and blood of the 4 missing people, Oreo Sonozaki, okay, them, in the torture room that was discovered in the basement of the outbuilding on the Sonozaki family property. Supposedly, that's where they were killed. So we concluded that the victims were tortured in the torture room. However, the remains have still not been found. According to one of her imprisoned classmates' advice, the body should be somewhere in the basement of the outbuilding where the torture took place. However, nothing has been uncovered as of yet, including the escape route the suspect took. In addition, investigations continue regarding any possible connection to the series of mysterious deaths in recent years. But no evidence that Mion Sonozaki was involved, either directly or indirectly, has been found. There are still many unclear points as to the motive behind the incident, and as those of the Sonozaki family and the residents of Hinamizawa have been extremely uncooperative in assisting us, we expect to require a long time to clarify them. The opinion of a local officer knowledgeable about the region is that this may have been a lynching, an internal form of punishing sacrilegious acts carried out against the beliefs of Hinamizawa village. It is clear that these incidents are particularly rooted in this region, and the prefectural police department has ordered a cautious investigation. So we anticipated gaining valuable clues from the missing person believed to have been imprisoned for the longest time, Shion Sonozaki, the suspect's younger sister. However, the incident has left such serious mental after effects that she has not been in a state of mind to properly answer any questions about what she knows. The psychiatrist concluded that she is in a temporary state of shock, but as of today, she has yet to show any improvement. Okay, where would Shion now? I was acting at first. It was just an act to avoid being interrogated by the police. As it turns out, though, fake insanity can be real. You see, I couldn't bear it any longer. I continued to be haunted by the presence of Rena Ryugu, or the presence Rena Ryugu talked about. It was so close that it could almost touch my back. It wasn't Satoshi-kun, and it wasn't a hallucination. It had become a Shion, or it had become Shion's ghost. Shion didn't go to heaven after all. She was always by my side instead. Shion didn't like the fact that I was still alive when she wasn't. So she had decided to haunt me until she witnessed my death. Every night she whispered to me, telling me to die. I get it. I shouted at Shion in my back. Through my mouth, she shouted back at me. So it must look odd to other people that they think I was arguing with myself. It's not fair. Why are you still living, sis? Die already. You said you'd die right after you killed me. So I'm waiting. It's so dark and cold in this well. It's cold. It hurts. I get it. Shut up. What exactly do you think, sis? You won't die in the way you want to. You're just running away. You're trying to survive even after you did all those horrible things. You'll never be forgiven. You're cursed. You're cursed. You're destined to die.
やかましいよ、シオン。亡霊のくせにやかましい、やかましい。おねえ、おねえ。クソ誰が。
Oh, remember in the second chapter, right? They were saying that they heard voices from inside the room. So I guess this was the voices they were hearing. Like she was fighting with someone, right?
ミオンはずるい。ミオンだけずるい。姉妹はいつも一緒。死んでも一緒。だからミオンほら、迎えに来たんだよ。ミオン
Shion banged on the door. Bam, bam, bam. That noise is too loud. It's cracking my ears and my head open. Shion's trying to break in. Alright, Shion, I get it. The perfect way for me to die is to be cursed to death by you, isn't it? But I won't be going so easily. I won't simply disappear. It wouldn't be fair if your beloved was left alive after all. She's gonna go to Keiichi. I went out to the balcony to avoid Shion, who was on the other side of the door. If I jump over the railing to the neighboring apartment, I could reach a fire escape. Eat shit, Shion. I leaned over the railing and jumped to the balcony next door. Then I rushed down the stairs, noiseless as a cat. Shion was too stupid to realize that I escaped. What is this laugh? Eek, eek. It wouldn't take long to get to Keiichi's house on a motorcycle. Shion must believe that I'm still in that room. She's so stupid. Oh, here we are. We're finally at Keiichi's house. Soon enough, I could see the Maibara mansion. I'd never seen it before, but I'd heard a great deal about it from Shion. She told me that Keiichi's room is on the second floor. I should wake him up. Throw a stone. I threw a couple of stones at the window, and shortly thereafter, the light turned on and the window opened. I saw Keiichi there. The moment I saw him, my madness cooled off for a while. Even from here, I could tell that Keiichi was running down the stairs. He showed up quickly, with a doll in his hand. I felt depressed to see it. It was the doll he failed to give to Shion. It isn't fair after all, Shion. I'm so jealous, Kei-chan. I want to receive a doll from Satoshi-kun too.
Mio!
お久しぶり。どう？元気にしてた？
Despite the burning insanity within me, I spoke to him calmly. It's true. My body is controlled by the demon now. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there this late.
お前、こんなところをうろついてて大丈夫なのか？
本当はいけないよ。
それよりどうしたんだよ。こんな時間に。
最後にお話ししたかったから。
I feel horribly sleepy. Maybe it's more like fainting due to the loss of blood. That sensation is proof that the insanity is swallowing me.
私ね。もうここにはいられない。
大丈夫か？どこか具合でも？
今日まで頑張ってきたけど自分でわかるのもうダメ。もう限界。私のお迎えはもうすぐ後ろまで来てる。
I won't decide how I die. Or I won't get to decide, I mean. Shion won't allow me to. No wonder I dropped her down the well. It wasn't only her, none of the people I killed chose to die how they did. Considering that, debating how I'll die must seem a luxurious concern to the dead.
大丈夫かよ。もう無理するな。そうだ。俺ミオに。
I'll kill him. I'll avenge Satoshi-kun's death. I'll avenge his death. This guy is Shion's beloved. I hate her. I'll kill him and teach her a lesson. Eat this. While gravity's pull spun around me, I realized that I had stabbed him with a knife. I made it. I made it before Shion killed me. I got back at her. Take that, Shion. Keiichi rolled on the ground, clutching his stomach.
できた。全部できた。私が殺したやつはこれで全員。
Yeah, I did it. I did it. I avenged your death, Satoshi-kun. Don't you love me for it? Will you stroke my head? Did I want to see this in the anime? Her laughing like that. Like how insane the look must be, right? The eyes. I think is gonna be very creepy. Yes. This was all a bad dream. After all, I was just in my room like always, suffering from nightmares of Shion. But where was I now? I had been standing on my apartment's fire escape alone. I could still recall that dream. Yes, I had stepped out onto the veranda. My front door was still locked, so I had to climb through the veranda again. Whoa. Then she fell down, I suppose. My foot had slipped and then I felt a floating sensation. That's how she died. After that, a sharp, indescribable pain ran through my head. That incredible pain finally cleared the fog away from my nightmare. That's how Shion Sanozaki died. I just slipped from the fire escape as I tried to return to the balcony and fell onto the roof, jutting out from the elevator hall 2 or 3 floors down. My room is on the 8th floor. I wasn't expecting to be caught up here. When I fell, my head landed right on the concrete corner and I could feel both enormous pain and warm blood dripping out. I felt strangely calm. I couldn't sense a demon, Shion's ghost, or my grudge. I felt just like a baby. The nothingness has brought me peace. All my memories from when I was born and named Mion up until today came to my mind. I recalled memories of the time I'd spent with Satoshi-kun. Tears rolled down my cheeks. Where did I go wrong? When in my life did I make the wrong choice? I do know just where and when that was because Satoshi-kun reminded me. I leave Satoko to you. Sure. I believe you'll return. I'll be waiting for you. I'll take care of Satoko. I'll wait for you with her. We'll be good girls. You left your precious sister to me and nobody else. I guess I didn't get the significance of what you said. But I'll be fine. I love you, Satoshi-kun. Satoko, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. Shion, I'm really sorry. Could I repay everything with my death? No way. That's now how it should be done. I wanted Satoshi-kun to stroke my head one more time. I wanted to hear him mumble one more time. I knew it was too much to ask, and so I had no other regrets. That brought an end to my apologies. I rolled over, sending myself falling to the ground, head first. I hoped my head would crack open to take me to the hell I deserve. I was just a demon. I belonged in hell. Why was I born? Why did this world give birth to me? I shouldn't have been born. I wouldn't have had to suffer if I hadn't been. What was the meaning of my meaningless life? If I wasn't born, nobody would have had to suffer. Thank you for treating me kindly even though I was like this. Thank you for teaching me love even though I was like this. Even though I was like this, even though... I'm really sorry, everybody. I really am. I'm sorry. If Satoshi-kun could give me another chance, I wouldn't make the same mistakes again. Never again. Here comes the ground. Bye. I love you.
今日までの出来事がすべて夢だったらいいのになって何度も思った。だから書いてみた。書いて夢になると信じて。ほら、よく漫画の中にあるじゃない？私の目の前に食べきれないほどのお菓子が積み上げてあって、それに手を伸ばし、まさに食らいつこうというところで、無粋に起こされて目を覚ますの。それはとてつもなく長い夢で、私は1年以上も眠っていたことになる。そう、私は監督の野球チームの試合の後、有頂天に駆け出して赤信号の横断歩道に踊り出してバイクにはねられてしまった。それでずっと1年以上も意識が戻らなくて、ようやく目が覚めるの。まぶたを開けたとき、そこには病院の天井が飛び込んでくる。それからずっと看病しててくれたサトシくんが覗き込んでくれてさすがにこれはできすぎか でもいいよね。そういうことにしてもいいよね。生まれてきてごめんなさい。
Breakdown. Okay. But it's honestly it's hard to, I don't know, man. Like, I'm gonna say feel bad because we don't really know what exactly is causing this kind of stuff in this town, right? Like this sickness. Like Satoshi did it, right? Killing his aunt. Keiichi did it on the 3rd chapter and also in the 1st chapter, right? So it's hard. I want to see first what this sickness or what is this thing affecting them, right? That makes them do all of this stuff. Like, for example, you think like someone, you want to kill someone, right? But for them, something is happening. Like this sickness, like it overdrives you, right? And you actually do it, something like that, right? Jiro Tomitake. Mio Takano, death by strangulations in the mountain. Incinerated. That's... I wish that we saw something with Takano this time. I wish they would explain that, right? Oryo Sonozaki. Extreme lacerations, yes, because she used the whip afterwards, right? Resemble of Jiro Tomitake's death for Rika Furude. Kimiyoshi strangulations. Satoko, multiple penetration wounds. Yeah, she died of blood loss, of course. Mion Sonozaki, severe trauma due to the impact after falling down a vertical tunnel. Keiichi Maibara, victim was severely injured but was recuperating in the hospital. Rena, last account 2004. Shishibone? Oishi's in Hokkaido. Yes, he moved to Hokkaido, right? Irie, address unknown. See? Kasai died of liver cancer. Dude, what the hell? Ichiro Maibara, Tokyo, and the wife. Daiki Tomita. Oh, Shishibone and Okumura's in Tokyo now. Chie is in Tokyo as well. Kamida, Tokyo. Teppei Hojo is in Tokyo. Keiichi Maibara died in the hospital of death, acute heart failure. So he had a heart attack there, okay. Severe trauma due to impact after falling off the balcony. Fell to her death from the balcony of her apartment, which she hastily rented to conceal her identity. Following her death, police filed charges against her for the 5 murders, which began with Oryo Sonozaki. But yeah, she's dead already, so... nothing. You can charge her all you want, she's gone. But I love it. I love that it's much slower here. Was it in... yeah, Tatari Goroshi, when they did this, it was so fast. I couldn't read them. They were moving so fast. The credits like this. Yes.
よっしゃー、お昼だお昼。
Okay, what is this?
そらレナ、机をくっつけろ。
今日はレナのお弁当はミートボールなんだよ。おお、そりゃいいね。
Mion, she's back.
おじさんもぜひいただくよ。ほらリカちゃん、机。くっつけるのですよ。ペター。残念なことにミートボールは私も大好物でございましたよ。皆さんに一口でも口に入るとは思わないことでしたよ。残念。そうはいかないです、さとこ。明らかに野菜不足のさとこには特別にかぼちゃ弁当を用意させてもらいました。
うわ、そりゃいじめだぞシオン。
ふわー、かぼちゃは嫌ですの。ほら、そのかぼちゃ嫌いはダメです。
Where's Satoshi?
かぼちゃはですね、栄養価にとても優れているんです。育ち盛りのさと子は特に栄養に気を使わないといけないんですよ。私の目の黒いうちは変色は認めないので、その覚悟でお願いします。ほらほら、みんなもどうぞどうぞ。ほこほこのかぼちゃって甘くて美味しいんですよ。
もにゅもにゅ。さとこ、これなら甘くて美味しいのですよ。
お、確かにこりゃいけるな。かぼちゃの甘みが嫌味なく、それでいて絶妙で。さとこ、お前は食うな、もったいない。
なんですって？かぼちゃは嫌いですけど、言い方が気に入りませんわ。
そら言った言った。一口にガバッと言ってみなよ。
ほらね。美味しいでしょ？まあ、食べれなくもないですわね。
当たり前です。さと子がかぼちゃ嫌いを克服できるように日夜研究してますので。さて、この調子で今年中にナス、ピーマン、アスパラガスと制覇していきましょう。
冗談はごめんですわ。私が沖宮の学校に転校しましてよ。
ダメです。さとしくんから頼まれている以上、健康管理は私の担当です。不摂生も許しませんから、そのつもりで。
しおんさん嫌い。かぼちゃ嫌。
So I guess this is like a what if, right? What could have been. The ending. I mean, the ending they're showing here. I was thinking like, oh, maybe it's like an all cast review. All of them are here. But yeah, no Satoshi. So it's just like what could have been if Shion took care of Satoko, right? I suppose. Scenario jump mode has been unlocked. Okay, replace scenario you've completed before from the start. The tips. Okay, extra. The staff room. What is a staff room? Oh, we got tips as well. Okay, happy diary and disowned. Remember that. We'll do that later. Happy diary and disowned. Okay, let's check the other let's check the other ending. No, yeah, the other pick. Remember that? Can we just go back there though? Let's load it from here. This one.
ケイちゃんの若い悲鳴を
Okay, so
たっ
we
ぷりと楽しみな。
okay, so we chose this one last time, the correct one. We'll chose this one. At the time, I became aware of Keiichi's gaze. So how different is it gonna be?
いい加減にしろ。
Keiichi's growl resounded from the pits of his stomach. What a delightful sound. It was like he wanted to rip me apart.
ようやくお目覚め。私、さっき嘘をついたね。シオンを一番むごたらしく殺してやろうと思って閉じ込めておいたけど、まだ思いつかないって言ったやつ。あれが嘘。
I smiled menacingly as I laid out the huge nails and hammer, specially made for the nail table.
あの子に自分のせいで死ぬ大勢の人の悲鳴をたっぷりと聞かせて、体の芯まで染み通らせてから殺すの。なかなかセンスいいでしょ。
お前は誰だ？
は？ミオンでしょ。 園崎美音。恐怖で頭が変になっちゃった？
違うな。お前が園崎美音であるはずがない。
My hand stopped dead in its tracks. Kei-chan. I decided it would be too late once we reached Shion's cell, so the name guessing game was already over. Oh well, whatever. Bring it on. I'll listen to you. This is your last chance.
へえ。じゃあ、私がミオンじゃなかったら、私は誰なわけ？
Come on, Kei-chan. Guess who I am. Try and save Mion, the girl who fell in love with you. And then I heard it. I most definitely heard it. Keiichi's mouth trembled as he spoke the words, yet his eyes shone with strong conviction. And he spoke the truth.
シオンだな。
Ooh, so in this part, he said it's Shion. Okay. Dude, this is cool. Wow. You're right. You actually won. You're amazing, Kei-chan. A strange feeling fills my chest as I shiver. I had convinced myself that there was no way he could guess. But he did, and I couldn't help feeling a bit surprised. The Keiichi had yet again pierced through my disguise.
お前はミオンじゃない。さっきまで一緒だったミオンを返せ。
Who are you?
え？
You aren't Mion, right?
え？だから私、ミオン。
No, that's not it. That wasn't what I meant. You aren't Mion.
どうして私がお姉じゃないって思うんですか？
I don't know, just a feeling. In my mind, memories of the time Keiichi recognized me at a toy store had been revived. Yes, even back then, Keiichi could tell that I wasn't my sister Shion. I had feigned composure and offered a comeback with a straight face, but on the inside, I was shook. We were both capable of becoming Mion or Shion, but because I was the real Mion and was only Shion legally on paper, reversing the roles was even more easier for me. Our tones of speech, quirks, and even our auras, we had both mastered each other's habits so perfectly, even our own parents were unable to tell us apart. In fact, wasn't that exceptionally sharp Rena not able to figure out I wasn't her best friend Mion after all, despite being so close? So, why? Has this Keiichi actually seen through my disguise twice?
どうして私がお姉じゃないって思うんですか？
My ears perked up, eager to hear the answer. Keiichi's reply was soft, a murmur like an insect whisper as he gasped for breath in pain. His voice was quiet, it was nearly inaudible, but I could almost recognize the words on his lips. Yes, just a feeling, he says.
へえ。
Yet again, it was just a feeling. Didn't he say the exact same thing to me that time at the toy store? How nice. What a splendid answer. You think why my sister of all people fell in love with him. However, no, rather, it was exactly because of this. Along with my raving madness, the blood that was simmering in my veins until just now rapidly began to turn chill and coagulate. If I were to describe it, it felt like stagnant, muddy water flowing through a gutter. Even now, it was also hilarious. I could fall over laughing, but I didn't smile. On the contrary, My face was vacant and austere, like a no mask of frigid ice. And then the darkness seeped into the innermost depths of my mind, and I was already parting with my self-restraint as a human being. I reached out and touched Keiichi's hair, matted with sweat and caked with blood. Keiichi whips his head away at once in disgust, as if he were staving off a housefly, and glares at me defiantly.
触るなこの鬼め返せミオンを返せよ俺の最高の友人だったミオンを返せ
Having lost liberty over his whole body, he continued to howl and cry as if he were spewing blood. I was supposed to have sold my soul to the devil and become a demon, but faced with such bitter rejection, I felt the crumbled remnants of my emotions stir within me. Munch, crunch, and munch. My throat begins to itch, the crooks of my elbows, my wrist, and every other joint in my body begins to tingle and prickle, and I feel irrationally restless. The more the restlessness and irritation piled up, the more the squalling, whimpering person beside me felt bothersome, revolting, so awful I could slaughter him right away. To be frank, until just now I had no intention of killing Keiichi. I was really ready to spare at least his life if he guessed the right answer. That was the rule I had decided upon. Okay, I'll admit it. Just like Shion, I had also fallen in love with Keiichi. He was incredibly silly and good-natured, unbelievably warm-hearted and gentle. Talking to him made me feel contented. Or contented, okay? Contented? Besides, I even sympathized with him. Unlike the lot I dealt with so far, Keiichi was indeed just a victim, caught up in my selfish revenge drama. Now that my revenge against the Sonozaki family was almost complete, I didn't mind saving him. That may sound too convenient, but perhaps the human side of me that was fond of Keiichi wanted to save him in order to seek his forgiveness for my actions. But I've changed my mind. Having witnessed Keiichi guess the right answer before my eyes, my heart was suffused with a stinging, gaping, overpowering darkness, as if it were freezing over. Why? Why was Shion alone able to meet such a wonderful person? Satoshi-kun could only make a vague distinction between me and Shion. Satoshi-kun abandoned me and ran away. However, this Keiichi trusts Shion. He is defending Shion, whom he values as his best friend, by seeing through my lies. And as a result, he gave up on me. Detestable, maddening, despicable, and viable, so much that I want to kill them. That's right, the moment he defended Shion, he became one of them. He is equally guilty, you low-life scum. I despise you. You piece of shit. Okay. Ah, what a nuisance. Shion's screams from the corner of the chamber were enjoyable before, but now they felt unbearably noisy and pissed me off. How about I just get rid of Shion first? I wanted to kill her after she had the most exquisite taste of anger and terror, but now I could barely suppress the indiscriminate urge to slaughter welling up within me. Keiichi was relentlessly yelling his protest towards me. His throat closed up eventually and he gasped for breath, hoarsely continuing to demand Mion's return.
ケイちゃん、メイドの土産なんて気の利いたものじゃないけれど、どうしても知りたがっているようだから、一つだけ教えてあげるよ。私の中に鬼が宿ったのはずいぶん前。その鬼は私を蝕み強行に駆り立てようとした。だけれど私はそれを理性で押さえつけた。鬼はそれで収まり、私はその鬼はどこかへ行ってしまったんだと思い込んでいた。でも本当は違った。私の中から出て行ったんじゃなく、 私の中で眠っていただけだったの。
Yes. When I learned about Satoshi-kun's disappearance, my ailing heart had crammed itself with rage to compensate for the despair. But that was the limit of my insanity. I would have never have snapped. Time had healed me, and my memories of Satoshi-kun were neatly wrapped up and pushed into the back of my mind.
その鬼は、ある小さなことをきっかけに、また目覚めてしまった。それは、何に原因があったと思う？
It really was as small as the smallest things.
鬼の私が教えるのも変だけれど、あんたがすべておかしくしてしまった元凶。
A tear rolled down my cheek. That's right. Back then, if you haven't given the doll to Mion, none of this would have happened. Okay, it's the same.
ケイちゃんには理解できないだろうね。理解できなくて当然。だけどね、そこからドミノ倒しみたいに、パタパタパタと、いろんなものが倒れ始めて、収拾がつかなくなってしまった。はじめの小さな一つを倒したあなたに自覚がないのは当然だろうけど、あなたが元凶なの。
No, sorry. Back then, if Keiichi hadn't shown any affection, Shion wouldn't have been overjoyed. She wouldn't have been overjoyed and cheerfully boasted about him to me. As I was listening to her, I was reminded of Satoshi-kun. I became jealous of her having someone she loved so close to her. It was a very, very small jealousy. But it had awoken to the demon who was sleeping deep inside me. After that, I just let the demon take over. The demon fed up upon the copious amount of sadness I felt or held for Satoshi-kun, and in return, it had committed the heinous acts that Satoshi-kun himself would never be happy with, in all the same, or in the name of avenging him. And now, the horrific events that followed were inviting me to the realm of the demons that had no return.
そんな嘘だろ。
自覚がないのは当然。でも、紛れもなく元凶なのはケイちゃん。
Back then, if he hadn't chosen to give the doll to Mion, we could have arrived at a different future. No, that wasn't right. Wouldn't pinpointing Keiichi's small action as the beginning be the height of transferring blame? I was implying such a silly thing had awoken the demon inside of me. Even without Keiichi's act, it would have awoken anyway. At the end of the day, it was all my fault. I didn't fight the demon, I allowed it to reside in my soul, and I readily offered it my heart. Keiichi didn't hide his tears, they were pouring down his cheeks. Maybe he was crying in my place, as I was not free to do so, having chosen to become a tearless demon. That is why I must go on as the demon. There was no room for human emotions or hesitation anymore. And then... snap. Shion wails rasping like silk tearing apart, along with my screams of ecstasy. The last thing I heard were those everlasting reverberations. So yeah, very big difference though. Like on the other one, after that thing, right? She didn't do anything to Keiichi there, right? She just left. Okay, 1983 again. Shishibone City. Okay, Shion Sonozaki, allegedly abducted, imprisoned, and killed 4 Hinamizawa residents. Okay, same. Preliminary investigation into the incident was delayed at the time due to insufficient evidence, but by chance, the case was solved rather abruptly. On the morning of the 22nd, a patrol vehicle stationed outside the Sonozaki mansion heard screams within and the personnel infiltrated the premises as an emergency measure. The suspect's missing elder sister, Mion Sonozaki, and two of her classmates, Keiichi and Reina, were taken into custody. However, Keiichi Maibara, who had previously been lured into the crime scene, had sustained stab wounds perpetrated by the suspect. He was immediately transferred to an emergency unit, but they were diagnosed as a minor injury. Having been the one with the utmost opportunity to engage in conversation with the suspect until the very end, he will be subject to interrogation once he has recovered from the shock. Furthermore, the apprehended suspect was found collapsed at a place approximately 2 meters away from where Keiichi Maibara was trained and sustained scratch wounds on her throat. She was also transferred to an emergency facility but was pronounced dead. Okay. Official autopsy determines that the immediate cause of death was a hemorrhagic shock due to excessive blood loss. Okay, so she died of blood loss. Hair, pieces of skin, and blood of the 4 missing people were recovered from the hidden chamber that was discovered in the outbuilding basement of the Sonozaki family property, where they were supposedly killed. It was concluded that the victims were assaulted in that hidden chamber. The victims' bodies were discovered at the bottom of an old well as per the testimony of the victim, Mion Sonozaki. In addition, investigation continue into any possible connection to the series of mysterious deaths in recent years, but no evidence of Shion Sonozaki's direct or indirect involvement has been found. So there are still many obscurities to the motive behind the incident, and due to extreme non-cooperation from the Sonozaki family and residents of Hinamizawa, a large amount of time will be required to clarify matters on this front. Okay, so I guess the same lynching incident. It has been established that the incident is unique and rooted in the regional community beliefs, and a cautious investigation has been ordered by the prefectural police. We expected to gain valuable hints from the missing persons and the suspect's sister Mion Sonozaki, who was under confinement for the longest time period. But it was observed that she had sustained severe mental trauma from the incident, and her inquiry has been postponed in favor of her psychological and physical recovery. According to her primary care physician, although her condition is fairly serious, there is a strong prospect of recovery, and she is at present undergoing rehabilitation with support from her close friends. Okay, several weeks have passed since then. After that incident, I was rescued by Oishi-san and his team, whom Rena had summoned. I had no other after effects aside from my consciousness that had been wiped white. If I were to have any at all, it would have to be the deep scars that had been left inside my heart. As I was being examined at the hospital, I was subjected to various queries from Oishi-san. I tried to answer him with whatever little I knew, but I had no idea if it met his expectations, and neither did I bear any responsibility to do so. From what I heard, Shion had already lost a lot of blood by the time the police arrived, and she stopped breathing. They urgently called for an ambulance and took her to the clinic, but there was barely any time for the first aid, and she took her last breath. The silver lining was that Mion, who had been captive in their cell, was safe and taken into custody of police. Okay, so who survived this time between both of them? Up until the moment I lost consciousness, I was afraid that Shion may fly into a rage and murder Mion, but I was just glad that we had managed to avoid the worst case scenario. Only when Mion was rescued, she was emaciated and had sustained severe psychological trauma. Apparently at the time of her rescue, she had been completely unable to respond to the police's questions. Right now, Mion is admitted at a large hospital in the vicinity and undergoing treatment for her psychological and physical injuries. In the beginning, when Rena and I went to visit, her eyes were downcast in desolation and she looked completely worn out. It was a horrible state to be in. So is this Keiichi? But despite it all, as of late, she is on her way to recovery, finally well enough to show us a few smiles. Of course, we have been careful to not bring up Satoko, Rika-chan, and especially Shion. The police later conducted an on-site investigation at the Sonozaki's house underground storehouse several days after the incident took place. Particularly the well inside which Satoko and Rika-chan's bodies were disposed of by Shion was carefully surveyed by the prefectural forensic investigators, and true to Shion's testimonies, the girls were discovered. Apparently sediment had accumulated at the bottom of the well, and hence the discovery had taken several days. Along with Satoko and the other victims, skeletal remains that were several years, even several decades old, were found, but it's not like I would know much about that. Even I was once summoned back to that place to assist with the crime scene investigation, but I didn't really help them find anything important. The Sonozaki family in Okonomiya, in other words, Mion and Shion's parents, came home every day, several times along with many of their followers, to formally apologize. And no matter how much my parents refused, they kept piling up banknotes worth millions of yen as compensation. And once that money had piled up and reached a certain amount in the same day, there came an envelope with a letter instead. I had no idea what was written in that letter. But my parents had discussed amongst themselves for 2 nights straight without consulting me, and they decided we would move away from Hinamizawa.
そっか。引っ越しちゃうんだね。いつ？
来月の終わり。ひなみ沢には結局半年も居つかなかったことになるな。
寂しくなるね。きっとみーちゃんも悲しむよ。
悪い。ミオンにも正直話すべきか迷ってる。
Once Rena had heard me say that, she strongly insisted I had to tell her no matter what.
確かに今みーちゃんにそれを告げるのは酷なのかもしれない。でも圭一くんが黙っていなくなっちゃう方がきっとみーちゃんは辛いと思う。だから一緒に話しに行こうね。
ああ、そうだな。
そっか。ケイちゃん、ひなみ沢からいなくなっちゃうんだ。
Okay, is this actually Mion or what? Even though she had heard it from me, Mion whispered those words sadly, but she didn't seem that surprised. Surely she had to mentally prepare herself for this outcome somewhere inside her heart.
すまん。けど俺、いつかひなみ沢に戻ってくるつもりだ。約束する。
いいよ、無理しなくても。ここに来てもきっとケイちゃんにいいことなんて何もないんだから。
みーちゃん。
Both Rena and I wanted to say it wasn't so, but after such tragic incident, what verbal consolation could we offer that would help to Mion, who had suffered a much greater pain than we ever had? And so we just stood there, unable to say anything, just wallowing in silence.
私も東京に行こうかな。
え？
来週退院できるらしいんだけど、ここにいてもいいことあんまりないし。東京でなくてもどこか遠く、私のこともひなみ沢のことも知らない土地に行きたい。やり直せるなんて都合のいいことは考えてないけど、もう疲れちゃった。全部投げ出したいよ。
ミオン、
Mion had been forced to carry the name of the next head of the Sonozaki family, and representative of the three great families, all due to a small misunderstanding. Despite feeling uncertain and wary about her unplanned responsibility, she had nevertheless been earnest and given her all to fulfill her duties. But to think all of that had been concluded in such a manner. It was such a tremendous loss that it's almost a surprise she hasn't completely lost her mind. Who can really blame Mion anymore for making such a faint-hearted remark? And so, I wanted to devote even a little bit of my remaining time here for her.
そうだな、ミオン。一緒にどこか行くか。
え？どこへ？
決まってるだろ。旅行だよ。俺がここにいられる期間はもうあまりないけど、だったらせめて少しでもいい思い出を取り返しておかないとな。東京はちょっと遠いけど、大きな町とかに足を伸ばしてうまい飯とか買い物とかさ。どうだ？
どうって言われても。
それとってもいいと思うな。行っておいでよ、みーちゃん。ね。
けど。レナ、一緒に来てくれないの？
After hearing that, even I grew puzzled. Hadn't I suggested all three of us hang out together?
だって、レナは馬になんて蹴られたくないもん。だから、二人っきりでどうぞ。あ、お土産買ってきてくれると嬉しいな。はうー。
Boom! Mion blushes vigorously. I was slow to react because I didn't understand what Rena was getting at, but seeing Mion's face imbued with the color after a long time, my heartbeat grew faster for a moment. No, it wasn't. It wasn't what I implied when I suggested the idea, but depending on the point of view, wouldn't this be an invitation to a date?
いかん。ちょっと調子に乗りすぎたかも。
Indeed, after seeing it that way, I was overcome with embarrassment, but there was no way I could back out after coming this far. This was all for Mion's sake, so pull yourselves together, Keiichi Maibara.
どうだ、ミオン。あ、もちろん医者と親御さんにはちゃんと了解を取るつもりだぜ。あんまり無理はさせないつもりだから考えておいてくれよ。
わかった。考えておくね。
はうー、みーちゃんが久々に可愛いよ。嬉しいな、嬉しいな。はうはうはう。
After that, we spent the day talking about harmless stuff that happened at school or in the neighborhood until it was evening. I felt like Mion had regained some of her spirit and acted a bit like she used to, so I was happy. After a few days, Mion had contacted me to say she was okay with my plan. And after spending a few more days to convince my folks and Mion's parents, we set off on a day's trip to a metropolis that had one of those bullet train stations. Ooh. Very nice.
しばらく見ないうちにここってすごく大きくなったんだね。
As soon as she stepped out of the station, Mion set eyes on a scenery sprawling with people and cars. She shared her feelings and excitement as she looked on admiringly. From what I heard, unless it's very important business, Mion rarely gets to leave the village, let alone come out to a big city like this. Because of that, everything she saw looked fresh and fascinating to her, and she pranced around them merrily, almost like a child.
ねえねえ、ケイちゃん、これからどこに行くの？
そうだな。ミオンの好みから考えて、あそこはどうだ？
The place I was pointing to, one I checked out in advance, was a massive, beautifully decorated game arcade that towered over a corner of the station shopping square.
なかなか盛大に遊び回ったな。
面白かった。あんなにゲームで遊んだの本当に久しぶりだよ。
As I sat down on the bench, Mion was gleefully draining her can of juice with a huge smile. That expression was unlike the gloomy one Mion had worn at the hospital. Next to me was the Mion I knew very well. Earlier, we'd had a blast, vowing to conquer all the game consoles in the vicinity and made quite a ruckus without caring about the people watching. Mion was enjoying herself by playing on the consoles she wasn't used to and had gone on a rampage, laughing out loud, getting worked up, and challenging me to matches. Although I couldn't help thinking about what ifs as I was playing with her. About how much fun it would have been if only it weren't just the two of us, but also Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan as well. I'm sure Mion must have been thinking the same thing, which was also why I outdid myself, making so much noise trying to battle the loneliness when I had realized.
なあ、ミオン。
何ケイちゃん。
With faint drops, sweat coating her forehead, Mion turned to face me with a broad smile. Mion's cheerfulness, likely just her being considerate towards me for having brought her here. If that was so, then I need to do the same for her.
お前、全部初めてって言ってたけど、それ本当か？初プレイで2台もハイスコアに名前入れるなんて、とんでもない実力だぜ。
ちっちっち4台の間違いだよケイちゃん。こういうのはセンスと勘、そして動体視力がものを言うのさ。普段の鍛錬を怠らなかった成果だよ。むしろケイちゃんはアドバンテージをひっくり返されたことを恥と思うべきだね。
おいおい、ちょっと待てよ。エアホッケーの時とか、あれ何？なんて後ろを指さして顔を向けた瞬間打ち込んできたのは反則だろ？まったく容赦のないやつだぜ。
勝てば官軍、負ければ賊軍だよ。
For the time being, it's alright if her well-being is a front. All I hope for is that someday this becomes real and she recovers her old cheerful self.
いやいや、それにしてもゲーセンも雰囲気が変わったよな。少し前ならタバコ臭くて暗いイメージだったけど、家族連れで遊びに来る人も結構いたからちょっと驚いたぜ。
そうだね。やっぱたまにはこういうのも楽しいよね。あ、今何時ぐらい
？5時くらいかな。
あー、じゃあ夕食まであと少しだね。どこかで食べて帰る？
そうだな。ファーストフードでハンバーガーなんてどうだ？
おお、いいね。あ、その前にちょっと失礼。
Mion said that and stood up from the bench. I found it odd for a minute, but then I mistook her intention and...
店にもトイレはあるぞ。
Instead of a reply, I had empty cans thrown at me. Mion stuck her tongue out and then tongue out at me and left in a hurry, and after I watched her retreating figure, I plopped back down on the bench and looked up at the sky. The sky was pure blue and crystal clear, and it felt amazing. Everything seemed to be glowing, bathed in the brilliant summer sun. It was a good thing we came here. Mion also seemed to show signs of recovery.
そうだな。なんなら今度はいっそ東京にでも誘ってみるか。
It would be cheaper if she stayed at our new place there, but I feel like our parents may be concerned for a while. We still needed some more time to go back to how it was.
そうなると泊まる場所も探しておかないとな。あとは
Why, hello there.
え
What?
ああこんにちは。
Okay.
いやー、ごめん、ケイちゃん。トイレ人いっぱいでさ。あ、結構待たせちゃったみたいだから飲み物買ってきた。どっちがいい？あれ？ケイちゃん寝ちゃったの？もう、しょうがないな。女の子とのデート中に居眠りなんてエチケット違反だよ。
He's dead.
ケイちゃん？もう、いつまで寝てるんだよ。ほら、起きて。ケイちゃん？え、はっ。
Dude, who did this? Bad. Who did it though? Yeah. Oh my god. He just said, why hello there, and then he was dead. So that was actually Mion. Okay, I was thinking that maybe that was Shion, right? Because, yeah, a bad end and all. But it was actually Mion still. But someone killed Keiichi. What? Okay. Okay, let's check the tips now. The tips we got. Then staff room, I suppose. So what was the last one? This one? A happy diary.
ええ、葛西氏が踏み込んだ時には室内は無人でベランダへの窓が開きっぱなし。その時が飛び降り時刻です。それでその真下の5階エレベーターフロアの屋根に一度落ちて脳震盪。そのしばらく後に横に転がって再落下、死亡。葛西氏が飛び降りを疑って地上を調べた時に遺体が見つからなかったのは、この時点ではエレベーターフロアの屋根の上で混沌中だったからです。前原圭一が刺されたのはほぼ同じ頃。その頃には園崎紫音はすでに飛び降りていて、屋根の上で脳震盪中？
違いますね。ベランダから抜け出して前原圭一を刺してベランダへまた戻る時に誤って落下じゃないかな。悪いけど周辺の部屋のベランダとかも調べ直してください。
おいさん、3番にお電話です。
はいはい、どちら様から？
佐藤と伝えればわかるとか、合言葉は論と言えと。
なもしもし。ああ、佐藤さんですか。こっちへ電話ということはいい知らせでしょうね。
An informant got in contact with me, and you were right after all.
ありがとうございます。今度フラワーロードで一杯おごりますよ。
何です今の電話？麻雀の誘いですか？
ビンゴ。それだけ姉妹は逆なんです。ミオンがシオンでシオンがミオン。入れ墨入れる時に間違って逆にやっちゃって取り返しがつかなくなったらしい。だからこのノートのミオンとシオンは逆に読むんです。それでならサトシ君とシオンさん、いやミオンさん、ややこしいな。の関係が理解できる。
ノートって先日の 大石さん宛てと書かれて郵便ポストに投函されてたっていう買いノートのことですか？中身はめちゃくちゃで捜査撹乱の恐れありって言いませんでしたっけ？
もちろん名前の入れ替えが分かったところで撹乱の域を出ませんがね。このノートどこまで信じていいのやら。もし本当ならフルデリカの死のあたりが怪しすぎるからな。
異常者の日記ですよ。読んでるとこっちまで変になりそうです。最後のページの「生まれてきてごめんなさい」なんて読んでるとこっちまで飛び降りたくなりますよ。
でも幸せな日記じゃないですか。
幸せですか？
この日記だけでサトシ君って名前何回くらい出てくると思います？シオンさんは本当にサトシ君のことが好きだったんだなって。その好きというのがね、若さゆえの勘違いでずれちゃって。
That was a happy diary. Yes. Disowned? Was that Shion's mom and Mion?
ねえ、教えてよ母さん。鬼ババとどういう喧嘩をしたわけ？
God damn.
感動されるなんてよっぽどだったわけでしょ？
お前もくだらないことに興味が尽きないね。ま、そろそろ話してもわからない年じゃないか。実はね、父さんと結婚したいって言ったらね、ダメだって言われちゃったのよ。
え？何それ？
私も当時はだいぶ社内生き方してて呆れられててね。その挙句連れてきた男が人気者だったわけでしょ。そりゃ大喧嘩よ。いい名付けは当主が決めるなんて言われて、そんなの知ったこっかい、こんなクソババア、この場で切り伏せたらって大立ち回りよ。
She's basically like Shion.
互いに板の間の日本刀抜いてちゃんちゃんバラバラ。
Unsheathed our katanas. Okay.
ひえ、鬼ババと盾を演じたわけ？母さんやるね。
まあね、母さんこう見えても若い頃は武闘派だし、互いに剣道有段だからそりゃあド派手だったわよ。周りはおろおろ。面白かった。
なるほどね。その騒ぎのせいで感動されたわけ？
そうよ、感動上等。遠慮なく感動もらって父さんと籍を入れたわよ。ま、けじめってことで爪を剥がされたけどね。ほら、左手の爪だけいびつでしょ。
うわあ、それで鬼ババと母さんはずっと仲が悪いわけだね。
シオン、本当はね、そんなことないの。私と鬼ババ様はちゃんと仲がいいんだよ。
Pretty good. And then why didn't she give you the succession or yeah, something like that?
嘘だ。
鬼ババ様には面倒な世間体があるからね。一度でも感動した以上甘くすると示しがつかないし。だから私も親類会議とかではおとなしく引っ込んでるけど、たまに遊びに行ってのんびりお茶とか飲んでるよ。
嘘だ。信じらんないね。
実はね、内緒よ。鬼ババ様もね、その昔けじめで爪を剥いだことあるんだってよ。 今度会ったら左手の爪をよく見てごらん。
いいえ。鬼ババは何をやったわけ？
そうね。母さんは知らない。
まあ、その顔は知ってるな。教えてよ。
Dude, that was pretty nice though, yeah. Shion and Mion's mom, Akane. Very nice. Okay, staff room, what is this? So no more all cast review? Do you think that the murder can be justified depending on the motive? Hi, this is Ryukishi07, the author of this one. The creator, I mean. Thank you for playing Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 5, Meakashi. Although I depict many deaths in my work, I often ask myself a question. That question is there such thing as a justifiable murder? In our world, murder is prosecuted and the degree of punishment varies depending on the motive and circumstances. Having different degrees of punishment means that we are putting a value on the dead person's life. Some scenes justify murder in Higurashi. By degrading the life of the victim in those scenes, the player can sympathize with the character more easily. The degree of sympathy would be different from person to person. So the people who could sympathize probably felt catharsis, and the people who disagreed with the character might have felt uncomfortable. That indicated by how opinions were polarized regarding Keiichi's actions in Tataragoroshi. In Meakashi, there are also a number of murders, but this time the main character Shion tries to earn sympathy for each one of them. How did you feel? How much were you able to sympathize with her? Actually, for me, I don't know, man. Like, she killed a lot of people here. If you couldn't sympathize with her at all, then please berate her as a crazy murderer. If you sympathize with her at all, then please have mercy on her. If you sympathize with her almost entirely, then please have mercy on her. If you completely sympathize with her, then please let us berate both of you as crazy murderers. What about me? Well, that's a secret. I like to reverse my question this time. What kind of murder could you sympathize with if you were to be killed? What? I don't know what to say to this. What kind of murder could you sympathize with if you were to be killed? I don't know. A murderer who doesn't care about people's lives? Can you sympathize with that? That'd be quite a regrettable death. True though, he died like nothing then. It's extremely sad to be killed in denial of all your values. A murderer who begs for forgiveness in tears. No. That'd be quite regrettable too. They shouldn't kill you at all if they're begging for forgiveness. Yes! So what kind of murder could you sympathize with? In the end, sympathy might just be a method of making the story more interesting. If you can sympathize, it's fun. If you can't sympathize, they're just crazy. It's right though, yeah. Right, yeah. We cannot put a value on human life. It's a sin to be or to even trying to do so. A murder is a murder. Nothing more than that. I just hope everybody can live happily together. How does that sound? That sounds good. Would you agree to that? If you wouldn't... He's laughing. Thank you very much for playing Higurashi. I could only bring out this 5th episode thanks to all your support. Higurashi will only get more intense as it approaches the finale. Nothing would make me happier than if you continued reading the chapters to come. The next chapter will be titled Chumiho Horoboroshi. Chumi Horoboroshi, okay. Really, I'm rather fortunate if you enjoyed yourself even a little. Thank you again for playing. I hope this has brought a little color to your life. 7th expansion, Ryukishi 07. Dude, I like this though, yeah. Even though it's not the all-cast review, that we've been seeing for the past couple chapters. This was nice. Yeah, pretty much the author is talking to you, asking you questions and stuff like that. That's very cool, right? So, how about it? Did you like this game? Or did you like this chapter? What ending did you like best? I mean, we had two endings, right? The bad end and the normal one, the good one. So what do you want? Or what did you like? Bad or good? For the good end, a lot of people died. Yeah, Keiichi died. The only one was left, or the only one left was Rena, right? On her under group, I mean. For the bad end, Mion was alive, right? Rena was alive, but Keiichi died there. Who killed him though? It was like, hello there, and then he died, right? He just died there. They better show us who did that. I'm actually very curious about that bad end there. So it's nice that we had choices in this game, even on the ending, right? Pretty much, yeah. It was the last, only one choice, and it affected the ending, the different outcome there. So for this one, I really loved What's a Nagashi. I said that already. I think when we played Tatari Goroshi, when we finished that, I kind of liked What's a Nagashi more because of the mysteriousness of these twins, right? Even though Tatari Goroshi was very sad, despair. Yeah, very messed up, I mean. So sad for Satoko there, but for the mystery itself of who the twin, or who of the twins are we talking to, something like that, right? That's why I love What's a Nagashi more. So when playing this one, I really loved all the scenes that with Shion. I mean, all the scenes. Shion had all the scenes. But yeah, the answers, I mean, all of it was very nice to see. How she was acting, how she was seeing the stuff, what was she thinking when doing all this stuff, right? Playing with Keiichi, messing with people and stuff. It was really good, yeah. It was really, really nice. It was really fun. I love this concept of we have question arcs and then we have answer arcs. It's nice. I wonder who's gonna be next on chapter 6. Chumo Horoboroshi, right, is the title. I wonder which one of the question arcs. So we still have Onikakushi, Tatari Goroshi, and the fourth one, right? Himatsubushi. So we have 3 of them still. So maybe it's gonna be Onikakushi or Tatari Goroshi, one of them, right? But yeah, I wanted to know actually what happened to Takano in this one when Ubishi told us in the ending of What's a Nagashi, right? That like Takano died a day before, right? They didn't say anything here, I guess. Because yeah, the perspective is mostly on Shion, right? So maybe we'll find out on the next chapter. But if you would give a score for this this answer arc, what would you give the score for this one? I really like this. For me, I'll give it a I'll give it 9 out of 10 for me for this one, for this chapter alone. I didn't score the other ones, but let's give a score for the answer arcs, I suppose, right? So for this one, I'll give it 9 out of 10. I'll probably score everything like 9 out of 10. And then the next one's gonna be 9.5 out of 10. But yeah, the best one is gonna be 10 out of 10. We're gonna have to see first what we're gonna get, right? And yeah, we also saw some scenes with Rika here in this one. Her saying honey, right? Adding more to the supernatural stuff, I suppose, on her mystery there. Can't wait to find out more about Rika and that thing, or whatever that thing is, right? For the sickness, I think that people are getting, we didn't really get an answer there, right? We didn't know like what is affecting, like what affected Satoshi, I guess Rena, and then Shion as well, right? We didn't get that. What else? What else do we have here? Yeah, Satoshi, meeting Satoshi in this episode, or in this chapter. It was nice. We got the face now to the character that pretty much they've been talking about since the first chapter, basically, right? So we've got a face. We saw how he was, what he was doing before he disappeared. So yeah, one more big question. Where did Satoshi go? What happened to him? I mean, I guess not just Satoshi alone, right? All the other people that got Onikakushi like demoned away, right? Where did he go? What happened to them, right? And then what else? Is that the only thing? Or pretty much everything was answered though, except like some questions that that they added more questions, right? And then yeah, it was pretty much it though. Pretty much it. So for this one, for most of it, it was it was Shion's perspective. And then for the other characters, not that much screen time for most of them. Rika, very very small. Her biggest scene was when she was fighting with Shion, right? Satiko as well. Her biggest scene was, I mean, the school scene, right? She was crying there. A little big scene there, but mostly her biggest scene was when Shion was torturing her, right? For Rena, her biggest scene, I suppose, was earlier in this chapter when she was talking with Shion disguised as Mion, right? On the bus stop, something like that, right? And then for Keiichi has a little bit of, or much more bigger for the screen time here. The one with the first time meeting him, and then here at the ending. So we also saw a lot of scenes with the other characters, right? The Kimiyoshi, Oreo, very nice scenes there. And for Shion herself, I mean Mion and Shion, their conversations between the sisters was really good, right? And then us learning about that Mion, our OG Mion, the Mion that we know, was actually named Shion, right? And then they exchanged places a lot of times, and there was a time that they had a ceremony or celebration or whatever it's called, putting the tattoo, and that pretty much sealed the deal, right? The original Shion became the Mion now, and the original Mion became a Shion. So that was pretty good though. Yeah, I love that they added that. Added more mystery to the twins, right? That was very nice. Like I was like, what? What was she saying back then? I was like, what was she saying? Like I was the original Mion. I just let you borrow my name, right? And then she was actually Mion, right? She was originally the Mion there. Ending for the good ending that we got. What could have been with Satiko, right? If Shion protected her, helped her, right? What could have been? Very nice. That would have been very nice though, right? But we'll see. We'll see. So yes, I just want to say thank you very much if you check this chapter out. Hopefully you will also join me when we start chapter 6. So yes, as usual, we're gonna continue this and start the next chapter in the Higurashi When They Cry series in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.